All right, so I'm gonna load our tube in the bender here. Get our tube through to 8 inches. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Saturday in the shop. We are going to get back on the aluminum bobber build today. So we're going to get our rear motor mount notched. We got our annular cutter in, so we're going to get that notched, get that back in the frame jig, and then start looking at doing a little bit of frame mock-up. We do have the down tube we made previously, with the radius rectangle tube. So we'll try and get that tacked into the neck, and then we'll start looking at our lower frame rails. See if we can't get at least one of those made up and tacked in. So that's the plan for today. It is pouring rain here and nasty, so I imagine won't be having a lot of interruptions, so maybe we can get a little bit extra stuff done today. We'll see how that goes. You never know. But anyway, as always, appreciate you guys stopping by, spending some time with us and checking out what we're doing. So gonna get out in the shop and get to work. All right, guys, so we're gonna get our motor mount set up in here. All right, we got our piece cut. We're going to head on over to the frame jig and start looking at getting all this stuff bolted in. All right, so first things first, we're going to get our motor mount bolted back into the fixture. All right, and then next thing we need to do is get our down tube fit. So I'm going to grab the welder, drag the welder stuff over here, and get set up so we can get ready to tack the down tube to the neck. Quick interruption to talk about today's sponsor and something a little bit on the serious side. You know, we like to joke around here, but if you ride, which I assume you do if you're watching us, you know the risks involved. That's why I've got Law Tigers and my buddy Jason on speed dial. These guys are riders just like us, and in the unfortunate situation that something happens, motorcycle accident, you're going to need someone to fight for you. That's these guys. So save this number, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. But if the worst happens, just know you've got a team that fights for you and rides with you. Be sure to follow Law Tigers and Law Tigers SoFlo on Instagram. All right, so we got our welder set up. We got our pieces test fit here. First thing we're going to do is clean this aluminum up with some acetone. Aluminum needs to be really clean when you weld it. It kind of sucks to weld. I'm not the greatest aluminum welder in the world. My plan is actually to just get this tacked up, and I'm going to get somebody who's better at aluminum to do all the finish welding on this frame for me, because I just want it to be as flawless as possible. And I'm not ashamed to say when somebody's better at something than me. So that's my plan there. So we got that nice and cleaned up. Also, because the steering neck is so much thicker material than the down tube, I'm going to go ahead and preheat the neck with the oxyacetylene torch just to get some heat in it and make it a little easier to get the tacks done. So we'll get that out of our way for a second. All right, got that tacked in, welded up pretty clean. Little bit of dirt there, but again, that's why we're tacking everything, and then we'll go back and finish weld when it's all done. So next up, we're going to figure out this bottom rail here. So got to get some stuff cleaned up and moved around. Then we'll come back and start figuring out how we're going to calculate and make that. All right, so we're going to get our tube bender set up here. For our 1¼ inch tubing. All right, so now we got to figure out what we're going to need as far as bottom rail material. So I'm just going to take a tape measure, kind of run it through here, and give myself kind of like a ballpark of how we're going to make this tube. And that's just going to give me a rough estimate. So it looks like a 5-foot piece of tubing is what we need. That'll give us extra, obviously, to cut off, which we're going to need to do. So, all right, so here's our part. We got to deburr that to get that to fit a little bit better in here. All right, so first thing we're going to do is make our front bend. I think we're going to make that like a 45 degree and check from there. We're going to start our bend at 8 inches back. I'm just marking that down so when we make the next one, we'll be able to copy it. And then we'll mark it with our final bend angle once we get it figured out. All right, so I'm going to load our tube in the bender here. Get our tube through to 8 inches. Lock that in. So we're just watching our dial indicator here. We're 30 degrees, 35, 40, 45. Then I'll go to 47 because you always get a little bit of spring back when you release. And we'll take this out and see how that looks. All right. All right, so that looks good there. It's going to give us a nice spot to get a mark, if I've got a marker in my pocket, which it appears I don't. All right, so this will give us our cut line that we need to saw off, and then that'll let us slide this back and line it up right in place with the down tube. You can see that mark there. We're just going to jump over and bust this out on the bandsaw real quick. All right, so the next thing we got to figure out is getting this bend coming up to the axle plate. So I think if we start the bend right at the axle plate here and bring the curve up again with the 45, or maybe I'll go a little steeper on that one with like a 50. Then we'll be able to get that curved right up to here and cut it off again on the bandsaw and have a nice fitting piece. We do still need to clean up this notch. The tube isn't going all the way up in it. So actually, I guess I probably should do that first before we get this set, because it's going to keep this bar in a little bit of a funky position. All right, so I think we got that notch cleaned up good. Yep. Get our mount back on. All righty. Where'd my clamp go? There it is. All right, so we got that nice and fit. I'm really liking that. I think it's time to pop that bar off and get it bent. See if we can get this without screwing it up. I'm not a big tubing bender. I don't bend lots of tubing. And so it's quite easy for me to get turned around backwards when I'm trying to figure out how to lay these things out and bend the tubing wrong. So I think tube bending is one of these things that's sort of a perishable skill. When you don't do it a lot, which I don't, you forget what you learned the last time you did it. And so then you don't implement what you did because you can't remember. So it makes for an interesting thing, and unfortunately sometimes a lot of wasted material. But I'm going to do my best not to do that today. So this is going to bend that tube that way. Okay. So we got it in there right. You got to find my level. All right. Let's see if we're making a part or some scrap. So there's 50. 52. And it looks like we made the right shape. All right, everybody. Gonna interrupt the video here and try and get some quick information out there. The giveaway is back. We have tried twice now. This is our third and gonna be our final attempt to get people excited about literally signing up to win a motorcycle for free. You don't have to spend any money. You just have to send an email and subscribe to our channel. I don't mean to talk to you like you're stupid,
But this is so simple, I cannot understand how this is so difficult to do. The point of this is obviously for us to build our channel. Us building our channel helps us be successful. Therefore, the payoff of us giving away a motorcycle that we spent a bunch of time and money on is worthwhile. So, send your email, gaddysgaragegiveaway.com. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel. And you don't have to, but if you want to actually win it, share this information with all your friends. We have 4,700 plus subscribers right now. If everybody gets one person to subscribe to the channel, we'll hit the number in like a day or 2 days, and the bike will go to its new home, which would be super cool for us. This is a simple thing, and I am just completely dumbfounded at the fact that we can't get people to do this. So, help me help you. I think that was Jerry Maguire. But anyway, we want to give the bike away. It'll be an awesome thing. It's a good feeling doing something nice for somebody. But yeah, we do have to get something out of it. We can't just build motorcycles for free and give them away. We'd be out of business quick if we weren't getting some return on our investment. So for us, the return on our investment is building the channel into a success. So please do this. And we're going to get back to our regular video.
All right, so we've got a frame rail fit. What do you guys do with your tape measures while you're working? I always mean to clip them on my belt. I never fucking remember. Then I spend half my life searching for a tape measure I just had 2 seconds ago. I'm an idiot. I'm a real idiot. So, oh, there it is, right in front of my face, as usual. So, we've got our axle height at 9 inches. We've got our tire height at 14. So that's going to give us 5 inches of ground clearance, which I like. I originally was trying to do a real drag bike inspired chassis. That's why I made this bend back here. I wanted it to be kind of like an old car tire chassis. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering if I shouldn't have made the bend up here and brought it back on more of an angle like this. So I'm sort of wondering if I should remake this tube. And I kind of think I should. Nobody's here to ask or look at it with me, so I don't know. Maybe I'll leave this and I don't know. Maybe I'll just make the second one and then we can look at both and decide. It's not that hard to make now that I got it figured out what we need to do. I just want to make a quick mention to people who live up north and complain about the cold. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if this is showing up on here or not, but it's over 100 degrees in this shop. I am wet like I was in a swimming pool. My clothes. The only thing that's not wet is my socks. So I don't want to hear any complaining about cold weather this year, because this shit down here will cook you. All right, so we got the second style on here. As much as I wanted to have this thing be like drag bike inspired, I think I like this look better than the other one. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to put a post up on Instagram too and see what people think before we finalize that and move on. So far I'm really liking it. I'm super happy with how it's coming out. It's a ridiculous amount of work for a frame, but hey, what the hell. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. The heat has ended me. I'm toast. And I got done what I wanted to get done. We got the one bottom frame rail figured out. well, mostly figured out. We made 2 different ones. So we'll decide on that. Then we can get the other side made. We'll get that all tacked up. And then we'll sit our motor in there to figure out the rest of the frame situation, the backbone and down tube, seat post, all that stuff. So really happy with the progress on this thing. It's going to be probably, I mean, I'm hoping the nicest bike I've ever built. That's my goal. That's my plan. And we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. So as always, appreciate you guys. Please be sure to check out our video sponsor, Law Tigers, on Instagram, Law Tigers SoFlo. We're working on a giveaway program we're going to do with them to get them some followers and hopefully pick up some for us too. A little cross promotion. But they're always here supporting us in everything we do, so we really appreciate them. And check out the giveaway bike videos. Share that stuff. Get signed up. Sometime in the next month, we are going to pick an end date for this giveaway, where it needs to get done by. I don't know how else to help promote this or get it out there to people. It's just baffling to me how difficult it has been to get people excited about the possibility of an absolutely free motorcycle. So anyway, I'm not going to go on that like I have before. So appreciate everybody. Thank you for stopping by, and we hope to see you next time at Gaddy's Garage.